There's a small plastic cartridge sitting on tens of millions of kitchen counters right now, and it is about to get thrown in the trash. You paid $8 for it 2 months ago. You are about to pay $8 for another one 6 times a year, year after year. But the cartridge you are about to throw away is not dead. It is full, and you can empty it, recharge it, and drop it back in your pitcher for about 5 cents. I'm going to show you exactly how. The filter inside a standard pitcher cartridge, Brita, Per, Kirkland, any of them, is not complicated technology. It is a plastic shell with 2 things inside it. Activated carbon, which removes chlorine, taste, and odor compounds, and a small layer of ion exchange resin, which pulls out calcium and magnesium, the minerals that make tap water taste flat and hard. That is the entire filter. 2 cheap commodity materials inside an injection molded plastic case. Nothing proprietary, nothing patented, just raw materials that cost almost nothing per gram. Activated carbon in bulk costs about $12 per kilogram. A standard Brita cartridge holds roughly 40 grams of it. That is 25 complete refills per bag. Each refill runs under 50 cents, and that is rounding up. Against an $8 cartridge every 2 months, you're looking at a $100 a year habit that drops to $2 overnight once you know what is inside. I will walk you through the exact process in a few minutes, but I want to tell you something about what this material actually is first. Because once you understand it, the 60-day replacement schedule starts to look like something else entirely. Activated carbon is not a chemical. It is a structure. Take a material with naturally high carbon content. Coconut shells are the best source, and they have been the gold standard since the 1800s, and heat them in a sealed, oxygen-free chamber until everything that is not carbon burns away. What remains is a skeleton, a lattice of microscopic tunnels and chambers so densely packed that 1 single tablespoon of activated carbon contains an internal surface area of roughly 10,000 square feet. 2 football fields, inside a spoonful of black powder, contaminants in tap water, chlorine, the compounds behind that flat metallic taste, residual pesticides, disinfection byproducts, do not get blocked by the carbon. They adsorb onto it. They stick to the walls of those tunnels at the molecular level, pulled out of the water as it passes through the carbon bed. The carbon does not react chemically. It acts like a physical magnet for organic molecules. That is the entire mechanism. And when a filter cartridge reaches its expiration date, the carbon has not degraded. The structure has not collapsed. The housing has not failed. The only thing that has happened is that the available surface inside those tunnels is coated. There is no more room for contaminants to stick. You are throwing away a fully intact piece of filtration hardware because the inside got dirty. And dirty carbon is not garbage. It is a cartridge waiting to be refilled. Now, Brita will tell you the cartridge cannot be opened and should not be refilled. That recommendation exists. I want to tell you why, because it is not a safety reason. The Brita pitcher retails for about $30. The margin on that hardware is thin. The company's revenue depends entirely on cartridge replacement. Every pitcher sold is an acquisition device for a subscription you never agreed to. The 60-day replacement interval on the packaging is not tied to a water quality threshold. There is no study that marks day 61 as the moment your water becomes unsafe. Carbon capacity depletes based on how much water you run through it and what your local tap water contains. For most households, a cartridge runs well past 60 days before its chlorine removal drops measurably. The schedule is built around repurchase frequency, not filtration performance. Carbon filtration is not a modern invention. Ancient texts from roughly 2000 BC describe purifying water by storing it over charcoal. Egyptian sailors used it on long ocean voyages. The British Navy deployed carbon-filtered barrels in the 1700s to prevent shipboard disease, a problem that killed more sailors than combat did. Municipal water treatment plants use granular activated carbon at enormous scale right now. The same principle, the same material, just measured in tons instead of grams. At some point in the 20th century, someone enclosed it in a plastic cartridge and built a consumer subscription around a technique that had been in the public domain for 4,000 years. The refill method is not a hack. It is just what the material has always been able to do. The resin component runs a different job, and it is worth understanding separately. While carbon handles organic contaminants, the ion exchange resin does something the carbon cannot. It swaps calcium and magnesium ions out of the water for hydrogen ions, which is what softens the taste and removes hardness. That exchange capacity does deplete over time, but slowly. A teaspoon of fresh mixed bed resin per refill is all it takes to replenish what 60 days of use consumed. Carbon and resin together, renewed, for under 50 cents. Here is the exact refill process. 2 materials: food-grade granular activated carbon, coconut shell grade is the highest performing, and mixed bed ion exchange resin for the dual media designs, which most Brita pitcher models use. The $12 bag of coconut shell carbon covers 25 cartridge refills. A small pouch of resin for 3 years of refills costs about $5, under $20 total, and you're set for years. Take the cartridge. On most Brita pitcher models, the cap twists off counterclockwise, firm pressure, quarter turn. On sealed, crimp-top designs, running a thin flathead screwdriver along the seam separates the cap cleanly. Pour the old media into a trash bin. Rinse the empty housing under cold, running water until it runs clear. Before you fill it, charge the new carbon. Put 40 grams into a glass of cold water and stir for 2 minutes. The water turns black immediately. That is carbon fines, which are harmless but chalky tasting if they reach your pitcher. Drain and rinse the carbon before loading the cartridge, and your first pour will be clean. Fill the cartridge. The carbon goes in first, packed to about 3/4 capacity. If your cartridge used resin, add 1 level teaspoon on top of the carbon layer. Press or twist the cap back until it seats firmly. Run 3 full pitchers through it before drinking. The same break-in process as a factory new cartridge. The filter is ready. The coconut shell carbon sold for this purpose is, in most cases, a higher purity grade than what goes into mass-produced cartridges. Commercial production, carbon filtration runs on cost per unit targets. They source the grade that hits their margin, not the performance ceiling. You have no margin to hit. For $12, you buy the best available grade. Your refilled cartridge will outperform the factory original, not in theory, but in actual filtration capacity. More available surface area per gram, more adsorption potential, a longer effective run before the next 5-cent reload. The same principle reaches beyond pitcher filters, countertop gravity dispensers, inline refrigerator filters, basic undersink carbon stages. All of them run on the same activated carbon bed. The bulk replacement carbon for those systems costs the same $12 per kilogram. The retail cartridges for most of them run $8 to $12 every 6 months. The material is identical. The markup is the only variable. 1 housing, refilled 6 times a year. A Brita cartridge housing, if it is not cracked, handles a decade of use without issue. 10 years at the manufacturer's schedule, $480 out of your pocket, and 60 plastic cartridges into a landfill. 10 years of refilling. About $20 in carbon in the same single housing you started with. The filter was never dead. You were just throwing away a 5-cent problem. Thanks for watching. Share this one if it saved you money. See you in the next one.